So I think, to me, one of the interesting dualities that you could find between Freud and Jung is that Freud, to me, seems focused on the causes behind events, and Jung seems to be focused on the teleology, on the aim that these events are going towards, right? For Freud, dreams generally talk about the past. For Jung, dreams generally talk about the future. Not just in a precognitive sense, but also in the sense that they are constellations of where the energies in your life, the psychological energies, are directed towards. What are you focused on that you didn't even know you were focused on? It's a very sort of LSD kind of thing, of like taking a psychedelic substance and suddenly having the realization that you actually want to be a painter, and you didn't even know that. But maybe your dreams were telling you something about the future, in the sense that it were telling you that you are wanting to go in this direction, right? It's the arrow that points to the future. And so there is something about how these two ideas, the focus on the Freudian, let's say, focus on the causes behind things, and the Jungian thing of where these things are going, where you can say that all events, or all movement maybe, has a cause and a direction, a will, a place that it's going towards. When we're talking about people, well, we can give the kind of examples that I was just giving, of someone who has a dream, a series of dreams that seems to suggest, or that wake up the realization that they wanted to be a painter. So their psychological energy was invested in a certain project that they weren't aware of, that they were maybe actively trying to stifle because it was too painful to accept this difference in their identity with what their identity had constellated as due to peer pressure or environmental circumstances, right? It's the pain between having to shift from who the world thought you were to who you are feeling like you are. So in the case of people, if you're willing to contemplate these ideas of depth psychology and so on, it's maybe easier to accept the idea that there is a directedness to movement. But I was thinking that in a silly kind of way, you can say that of any movement. When a rock, or the usual sort of billiard ball thing, right? A ball hits another ball and it moves in a certain direction. Well, clearly, the ball, there's a cause. Why did it move in a certain direction? Well, because it was hit by this other ball. And which direction did it go in? It went in this direction. It could have gone in a different direction, right? The wind could have blown suddenly and shifted the course. Or an object could have fallen from the sky and blocked its path. So it isn't certain that the ball was going to go in this direction, but there are certain, like, let's say, laws of physics, or whatever you want to call them, where if you pour water onto a slope, it will fall down the slope. Or if you knock a ball with another ball, it will make it go in this direction. I think that there is a similarity between this and the human concept of will, right? In that the ball, or the object that is hit, wants to go in this direction, not because it likes to go in this direction or because it dislikes to go in this direction, but in that its movement has a goal, and it's simply the goal of following the laws of physics, which maybe you could also simplify it and define as the laws of karma as well, of cause and effect, right? That if you drop something, gravity will make it fall. If you hit something, the energy will, make it move, or whatever it is, right? That it's cause and effect, which is the Freud-Jung thing. Cause, the past; effect, the future. And so all these natural phenomena are also in the law of karma. The law of karma isn't just about human morality of you did a good thing and so you will get a good thing, or you did a bad thing and so you will get a bad thing. I think there is a slightly more amoral quality to karma, where it's simply, cause and effect. A billiard ball hits another ball, effect, it moves in this direction. Human level, this big complicated event happens in your life, and it is, or this movement towards being a painter is in your psyche. There is a way in which you are moving towards that. And I feel as if there isn't a huge gap between the billiard balls and the person who wants to be a painter. There is a difference in complexity, maybe. There's definitely a difference the way we see it, but I don't think it's a fundamental difference, and it might open the possibility that movement itself, that is to say change, right, time and space, the manifest world, there is at all levels of it a past Freudian dimension and a sort of future-oriented Jungian dimension, where cause and effect makes things tend towards a certain place, right? The water goes towards the sea, or it evaporates up into the clouds. The rocks fall down, or they rise up in the form of mountains. There are arrows of there is teleology in pure matter as well. There are places where these shapes in matter are going. It doesn't mean there is an end in sight, but you could ascribe specific ends from a human point of view. The way we describe it, we'd say that water evaporates and forms clouds. We don't say that water evaporates in order to form clouds, because we don't like personifying the water or assuming that it has an intention. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a similarity between the process that the vapor is going through and the process the person who wants to be a painter is going to. It doesn't necessarily mean that the water must be personified. You could also say that the person could be materialized or waterized or whatever, that there is maybe a slightly more immaterial, organic quality to will, which of course opens well, on the one hand there's this, which opens the topic of fatedness, right? Of maybe the way that complex human endeavors work is slightly more clockwork-like and organic than it seems, but at the same time, these experiences themselves of well, like the person who wants to be a painter, these interactions with dreams in order to find alignment with the direction that you are going in or that you would like to go in or whatever, put you in touch with these things, synchronicity and such, that not only make the human world of free will appear more mechanistic than it seems, right? Synchronicity always messes with our concept of time and free will. It creates situations that give a strong sense of fatedness, right? Synchronicities give a sense of fatedness to things. But in the fact that they usually also work as spiritual experiences in some sense, they also give life to what we usually consider to be dead. And I don't just mean rocks and sand here. I mean imagination, forms of all kinds, forms on a screen, on a painting, in a dream, forms in the desert in the shape of rocks. Rocks both in the physical sense and in the imaginal sense. It kind of, in the fact that it blends the limits between the imaginal rock and the physical rock, it makes the world of the human be more rock-like, and it makes the world of the rock be more soul-like. But yeah, what I wanted to focus on mainly, and what I started with, is just the idea that movement has a will. It has a chaotic side to it. I think that chaos and randomness plays a big role in this as well, but that the possibility that all movements have a direction to them, a direction in the psychological sense, in like the Jungian sense, that maybe movement itself, change itself, always has both a chaotic side and a teleological side, right? That cause and effect go together. Things aren't just pushed from behind, but things are also going towards. There is the Freudian and the Jungian thing dancing together somehow. Yeah, just that's about it. Thanks.